What is going down? I'm Sammy Goldberg. Welcome to Respect the Chain. And right now we are here at the Plant-Based World Expo with Ben Davis. Now, Ben, you are the man that came up with the idea to have a vegan festival. What made you want to do this?
Well, Sam, first off, great to be with you here, and thanks for taking the time. Back in 2018 was when we first came up with the concept, and it was right around the time that plant-based alternatives to meat products, plant-based eating, whole food plant-based diets were starting to really become front and center in our culture. And what we found at the time was that there were a whole lot of smaller consumer events with a lot of tasty vegan foods, and there were a whole lot of big professional trade shows with a whole lot of foods, but there was no professional trade show that was all plant-based. And so to be able to have a home for the whole industry to gather, to solve challenges, collaborate, and look towards the future and come up with new ideas was something that the community wanted, and now we're 5 years later and seeing it come to life. It's great.
I mean, what's cool now is everything's vegan. There's fish, there's meats, there's chicken, there's turkey. You got any snake? Is there a vegan snake? Like, what's next?
I haven't seen a vegan snake, although back before I went vegan, I used to like the fried gator tail down at music festivals and stuff. So if you ever see a vegan gator tail, let me know.
I'm a Floridian, so I see the gator, but no vegan yet. But I think that's an idea. We'll pitch it.
Yeah, I think so. That's the next evolution, clearly.
So, I mean, what do you think is the latest trend in the vegan world? I mean, as you know, we do a lot of chain restaurants. A lot of vegan options are now popping up all over the chains. They're taking care of everybody now. They want everybody to be included. What do you think is next for chain restaurants in the vegan world?
So of course, first off, it's going to depend on where you fall in that world of chain restaurants. Quick service, fast food is going to have a different solution to this question than something that's a little more sit down, family style. But I think the trend that I'm most excited about is mushrooms really being front and center. We're doing a panel this afternoon with some really amazing speakers focused on how mushrooms can become a center of the plate protein, both the way they come out of the ground in many cases, and also with some of the cool technology that's really getting into the mushrooms and the mycelium at a cellular level to turn them into a meatier, more protein dense bite of food. So that's something we're really excited about, and I think that will really trickle into the chain restaurants and food service world as well, because it's a real low-hanging fruit. Mushrooms are very meaty, and there's so many different applications once we start to mess with the way that they're prepared and put together.
Now, is the goal of the community to try to make things taste like meat as much as possible, or is it more of a goal that you just want to make a good product that stands on its own? I'm saying, are you pitching this to meat eaters, or is it more being pitched to people that are just vegan?
This is a great question. It's a really important piece of the conversation and the dialogue that we're having here this week, especially because in the past we've seen a lot of hype and excitement around the products that were the closest to meat as possible. There's certainly still a lot of room in the market for those products, but we're also seeing a real push towards diversity of products, things that are a little more whole food, using more novel ingredients and traditional vegetarian food ingredients like tofu and tempeh and seitan that aren't necessarily trying to be a steak, but they certainly can satisfy a big eater like myself who wants something that has a meatiness to it. So I think there's a balance, but in general, the trend we're seeing is towards things that maybe are a little less trying to taste exactly like meat, so that they can be a little more natural, plant forward, a little less processed. At the same time, these are not just being created for vegans and vegetarians, because there are a lot of folks out there who are flexitarians trying to eat less meat, and they don't necessarily just want to eat something that tastes like meat when they're eating less meat. This gets pretty complicated, and that's why we need to have this conference, because you have to go these layers into depth to really understand who our customers are, what they want to eat. And if you're beyond meat, you might have one type of customer who really wants something meaty. If you're Hodo Tofu, who'll be speaking on our keynote tomorrow, they're looking for someone who really wants something that's not meat when they're eating not meat, whether they're vegan or kind of omnivore. So these are great questions to ask, and as we're here for a couple days, I think a lot of the clarity will come to light from what everyone's sharing on the panels and on the expo floor.
Well, what's funny is I'm a meat eater, and I was at dinner with one of my friends, and she doesn't eat meat, and she ordered a Beyond Burger, and she bit it, and she thought it tasted so much like meat that she called the waiter over and started saying, oh my God, you serve meat, you're serving meat. As a meat eater, when I took a bite of it, I said, no, that's not meat, I know it's not meat. Yeah. But I think it's pretty amazing that the technology now is including everyone that doesn't want to eat meat, and when they go out to restaurants, they can feel included, enjoy the meal, and they actually get the satisfaction or the feeling of eating the meat.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you're familiar with the concept of the veto vote in restaurant world, and it's been a real key piece to our puzzle from the beginning is, hey, you might be a restaurant that's not interested in shaking up your menu, but you're always interested in getting new customers in the door. And if you realize that you might be missing out on a whole group of friends because you don't have one option for someone, you're gonna try to get creative and put something on there. And you know, a few years ago, or still for some restaurants, having a Beyond Burger it works. You know, I got a burger at the little airport I flew out to,
Yeah.
and it was an Impossible Burger. You know, it was nice that they had something I could eat. Would I have preferred maybe like a really delicious salad with some tempeh or seitan or something on it? That would maybe speak a little more to what I'm looking for, but I also can appreciate someone making effort to have an option, you know?
Of course.
And so we're moving towards having more options, more diverse options that's for someone who wants a meat-like alternative to meat, and options for someone that wants, like your friend, just something that tastes like something they know,
Exactly.
which is a plant.
Now, how many exhibitors are here?
So we've got, I don't know the exact number, I think 200-ish. Yep.
So who should I check out? If there's one I should check out, what should I try?
You know what? First booth you see right here on the other side of this pillar
Yeah.
is called Unfished. They do a rice protein base smoked salmon. And they were an exhibitor of ours in our London show last year, and they served it at one of our breakfasts.
Yeah.
And I ate probably a whole platter of it. It was like a cream cheese toast with smoked salmon made out of rice protein. And grew up eating smoked salmon.
You know, Rosh Hashanah is coming up. I got Yom Kippur. I got to use
This
it.
is the real deal as far as plant-based seafood goes. So
All right.
definitely start there.
I'm
Look
going
forward
for
to
it.
what you'll see.
Done. I'm doing it next. Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Sam. Thanks for being here.
That was fun.